Protests began on May 1st, 1970, where rioting in the streets of Kent, Ohio took place, where buildings were burned, storefront windows were broken, car windows were smashed, all a result of Nixon's decision to invade neighboring Cambodia. Even more violent protests occurred on May 2nd, 1970, that forced the National Guard to arrive to the Kent State University campus. The ROTC building was burned down to the ground, and the National Guard had to spend the rest of the day dispersing the students. After violence on May 2nd, May 3rd served as the calm before the storm. While National Guardsmen occupied the campus, they received very little trouble from the students. On May 4th, 1970, the largest crowd yet of 2,000 students gathers on the campus knoll. National Guardmen used tear gas in an attempt to disperse the students, however they fail. After tensions heightened, rocks and steady cursing were used to frighten the guardsmen. The guardsmen fired at the students at 12:24, leaving 13 down, 4 dead, 9 wounded. The shootings that took place on May 4th, 1970 had a huge impact on American society. 441 college campuses were shut down due to protests in response to the Kent State shooting and protests against the Vietnam War. The counterculture responded by creating songs like this, Ohio by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, as well as the Beatles with their song Revolution. The Vietnam War era was filled with controversy and protests against the war. During this time of war, many college students expressed their views in protesting manner. The U.S. invasion of Cambodia was the main event that led to the protests at Kent State and the massacre that ensued. The controversy at Kent State led to an eruption of student activism and protests across the nation that would forever change the United States government. It started the intellectual student movement as well. The Center for Peaceful Change and the May 4th Coalition symbolized two student activist groups who made a significant difference outside of simply just protesting. During the same time period, the American Indian movement was gaining support. Protests were organized in Wounded Knee, South Dakota, and similar to Kent State, both protests got the whole nation behind their cause and as a result provoked changes in legislation and the nation's view of Native Americans.